Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is Cherie with the Ascension Sessions. It is September 3rd, and I am so excited to be back on the air. It's been quite a while since I've been here with you. What a crazy year we're having. 2020 has, I knew it would be a big year, but I didn't know it would be like this. So I'm still here. Thank you all for being here and watching the show. I'm super excited to share my guests with you tonight. I'm here with Amelia Jones and Lucy Prebble of Queens That Bridge. And these are guests who've been on the show before, and I'm so excited to have them back almost exactly a year later. So I'm sure a lot has changed for us. So welcome to the show, ladies. Thank you for being here.
We feel so grateful to be here with you, to be here on Earth right now with everything that's going on, and just, to be able to connect with you and your beautiful audience.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having us, and we're looking forward to this juicy conversation. We're currently located here in Tasmania. If you've never heard of it, it's like the love heart of Australia, below Australia. So it's a tiny little island, 500,000 people, and it's a really beautiful place to be. But this is where we ended up in coronavirus.
Yes, I know. That's right. They're coming to us live all the way from Tasmania, which I was also going to mention. So thank you for mentioning that, because it's a miracle that we can do this show all the way across the world. And let's bow to technology. And hope that everything goes smoothly tonight. So thank you so much for being here, and for all of your watchers and your fans who are joining the show as well. So everyone, if you're able to, please go into the chat room live on YouTube, and I will be saying hello to you on there. And I will be, if you have any questions, please put them in all caps, and I will let Amelia and Lucy know what your questions are so we can get those answered. And am I saying your name wrong? Because I have a friend named Amelia, but I think you're Amelia, right?
Yeah, I'm Amelia. I actually quite like the Amelia.
That's nice. I'll take it.
It's just it's muscle programming in my mouth.
Yeah.
So hi, we have John in the chat room. Thank you for showing up, John. And we also have Jeff. Awesome to see you guys. And Chic Equilibre. Hello, and thank you so much for being here.
Hello, beautiful people.
That's awesome. So I know that when we spoke the last time, you guys shared your story with me, and it was quite epic and quite amazing. And because we have more time together tonight, if you don't mind, I would love for you to share your story again of how you came together and how Queens That Bridge came to be, because it's such a beautiful story and it's so unique. And for all the viewers who didn't get a chance to watch the last video, I would hate for them to miss out on that story. So would you mind sharing your story for our watchers tonight?
We would absolutely love to share the story. And it's funny because on my way here, I just felt the call to bring a crystal, which, guys, I'm going to talk more about this crystal, but it's a very special crystal that really brought us together. So there must have been a reason for me to bring that. So I'm going to start off with the part of my journey. I was really lost, looking for more. I had the cars, I had the success, I had the business, the partner, but yet I was just so unfulfilled. There was like something deep was missing in my life. So I gave it all up, moved into a little apartment on my own and just started meditating. And I was like, what's going on with my life? I was having bulimia issues come up. I was struggling with depression, anxiety. I was really lost in who I was as a person. And I started speaking to my soul. I was following these people on Instagram and other coaches, and I'm like, start speaking to your soul and your heart every day. And I was like, okay, I'm open to this. Like I'm open to anything right now. I'm at my lowest of lows, consistently really struggling with life. So I said to myself, what is it that you need me to do? And my soul spoke, go to Egypt for 1 month and Bali for 2. And I was like, my whole body got full goosebumps. So I was like awakened. I was like, wow, like I didn't know how I'd manifest it. I had no money at the time, no job, moved into this house, didn't even know how I was going to pay the bills. Basically, I just took the leap of faith to follow my soul, because that actually felt most in alignment for me. So I said yes to the universe in that moment. I said yes. I had no idea how it was going to manifest. And I just started to get into manifesting abundance, how to bring in money. And I was like, okay. And I sat there, and no word of a lie, 7 days later, I checked my bank account and I had $14,000 put in there from a source I'd forgotten about, like a company I was involved in ages ago. And I was like, oh my God, universe, okay, I'm going to Egypt. I was like, okay, I'm supposed to go to Egypt. And I got a job at the supermarket. You know, I went back, like I was really successful, and I had to drop everything and become humble. And I went back to the supermarket. I was like, you know, I need to be focused. I need to bring in some more money. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the supermarket the best place I can work with the best vibes. I'm like, it's going to be great. You know, I was just like, you know what? I can make this place great. And I really, it really sunk me into a deeper place of humility with myself, and just realizing that it doesn't matter what we do. It's who we be. It's who we are as human beings, and our beingness is so damn powerful, because that was the best supermarket I've ever been into. There were so many good vibes, people getting their apples polished. You know, I just made the best of what I had, and I didn't have much at that time, just a vision and a dream to follow my soul, to go to Bali and to go to Egypt. So I talked to my managers and I manifested it. They're like, you can go. My mother lent me some money. My dad's like, here's this, and all this stuff started to unravel. And I booked in to get an appointment, and they said, to Egypt, I found a spiritual endeavor that was like a real spiritual, it was called the Enlightenment Retreat. So I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically like a month program where you go to all the shrines, to all the temples around Egypt. And I was like, wow, I think I've got to do this. And I emailed them and they said it was sold out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting. And the next day and I was like, you know what? I don't believe it. And I was just really staying in a positive vibe. And my parents were like, you know, Amelia, that's not going to happen. Go back to your studies. You know, going at the time, I'd just done theta healing, personal training, channeling, tarot cards. Within that 6 months, I was studying full time, every modality, every way, looking for the answers to help my soul. I was like, what am I here for, God? Please, someone help me. And it led me to the next day, I got a phone call and they called me back. The Divine University had said, you know what, we can fit you in a double room. Someone else just come in. And I was like, oh my God, this is just incredible. And I just knew it would manifest for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to Bali. I'm leaving my life. I have no idea where I'm going to go, how it's going to manifest, whatever money I'll have when I'm left. I have no idea, but I'm going to follow this soul calling, and like full goosebump moments of like, I got to do this. There was no way I couldn't not do this. And it was so scary. And so I went on this beautiful trip to Egypt, and it was incredible. I just awoken on my spiritual journey, and I was with 50 other masters who were in their Dharma. I was a rainbow sheep. I was a bit of an odd sod, because these people have been on their journey for years.
She's still that.
I'm still an odd sod, guys. I'm still an odd sod. But I started to go, and I had no idea what was happening. We meditated for 8 to 10 hours a day. And guys, I hadn't meditated for more than an hour in my life. And I was just like in this trip, and we were doing activations to activate your channel, your master enlightenment codes, all these things that I had no idea what they meant. I actually felt a little bit embarrassed, a little bit unworthy. I had all these things come up. So it was such a big journey. So for a whole month, I went through and meditated. I went all around Egypt to every amazing temple, the pyramids. I did all of these initiations, the 7 initiations of the Enlightenment Masters. And I come back, went to Bali. That was my next step. I got to Bali and my whole world fell apart. I was like, what has just happened in my life? Now I'm in Bali. I'm by myself. I went up to the top of Bali, if you've ever been there, to a place called Lavina, which there's absolutely nothing up there, but I found a Buddhist monastery, and I was just totally lost. I was trying to be vegan at the time, but I had food issues coming up. I was sitting there eating Pringles because I thought they were vegan. I was just so lost with life. I thought I was going to go on this trip and come back and a master with light language. I was like, I'm going to come back and heal the world. And actually, what actually happened was my whole world went boom, illusion stripped. I started to realize I wasn't really from here. All these things started to come up within me, and I was like, I was just like shocked, this is deep. And, at one of the temples, I was given this, I was the second temple I ever went to, the Isis temple in Aswan. This man came out to me who was dressed in a white galabaya, these beautiful green eyes, and he said to me, you must take this crystal, it's for your journey. And I was like, okay. And I put it in my pocket. I said, thank you. And he looked at me and he said, no, this is really for you. And I was like, okay. And he's like become a dear soul brother these days. And I was just like, okay. And I took this crystal. And so I was in Bali, completely lost, sitting there eating my Pringles, trying to put on Netflix. I come out in these rashes. I put on 12 kilos in that month. It just everything, my hair was a mess, my skin, just everything broke out. I broke down, was lying on the bed crying. And then I get a message in my thoughts, like my guides and angels, or you can call it intuition, whatever you want to call it, just a message doesn't feel like it's your own. That was like, get Tinder. And for those of you that don't know, Tinder's a dating app site. And I was like, what? Tinder? I'm about sacred love. I'm not about those, those type of dating websites. Anyways, I got on it. I put my profile picture up, then I deleted it. Then the next day, a really strong voice come through again and said, get Tinder. And I was like, who's speaking? My guides, angels, higher self. I was really waking up. I was really confused. I was like, okay, I got it, put my profile picture up, and it said, hi, I'm Amelia. I'm on a spiritual pilgrimage with a picture of a camel.
She was on top of a camel.
And that was my dating website picture. And I went on there and I swiped through a little bit, and I swiped right to Lucy. I saw her beautiful, powerful face, and I was like, wow, like that was why I wasn't even comfortable with my sexuality at that point. And I swiped right, and we got talking, and it was like, what's your birthday? 20th of July. She said the same.
We've got the same birthday.
The same birthday. And I was like, okay, all right, okay. And then she's like, what's your life purpose? Straight away, there's no dating with this woman. She's just like, what's your life purpose? Just trying to sort me out. It wasn't like
what I'm here for.
It wasn't like a normal dating. Do you want to have a coffee? She's like, what's your life purpose? And I was like, I'm here to shift global consciousness, raise the vibration of the planet, and help change the education system. I didn't even know why I knew that at that point in time, because that was what come to me in meditation, and I didn't even believe that was something. And she said, mine's the exact same.
When I had my major awakening moment, it came through. I was like, the children, we're here to help the children.
Yeah, and we were like, bang, bang. And then the next thing, we're like, okay, name 1 to 20 things that you wish to see and contribute in the world. And from 1 to 20, they were the exact same, in the exact same order. And we were like, just this moment of just like, no, there's something going on here. We're like, is this for real?
Wow. Did you think she was scamming you for a moment?
Oh, I did actually. It's really funny.
Yeah, she was skeptical.
I actually went and checked her passport to check that she was like being honest with me.
Yeah.
Behind her back, and then I broke into her phone one day because I was like, okay, this is a bit like the Truman Show. Like, okay, and for a while I was, and I just had another awakening as well. So I was also going through a similar thing, but
there was skeptical bits, Cherie. There was huge skepticism until the undeniable part that actually moved that energy. What actually happened was, my guides and angels come to me. We started chatting, very romantic. Like there was just so many. We were just up all night talking, and I had a sense. I was like, I loved her. I was like, she's another part of me. This is the twin flame, twin soul. I was just
I wasn't aware of this.
Lucy was so not aware of this, but I just knew. And which brings me to the next bit. I was getting a massage, and I'd already been told, give this crystal to Lucy. And I was like, oh God, no, this is the only thing I have from Egypt. I've forgot nothing. This is it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I was getting a massage in the middle of Indonesia in Ubud, and the energy was so strong. I got this whack, like when the universe is giving me like a whack, it was like, give the crystal to Lucy. And this was in a different voice. And I was like, who's talking to me? I was like, this is crazy. I was like, where's this energy come from? And I said to the massage lady, she was so beautiful, I said, honey, I know this is halfway through. I've got to go. I've got to get up and go. So I actually left. There was that much energy swimming through me. I went to my place, packed my bags, left the thing, left my accommodation, didn't get a refund, drove to where I thought she would be because Lucy wasn't even in the country of Bali. She was in Thailand. I drove to where she said she might be, like a crazy stalker. And I sat there waiting for her to get off a flight, which I knew she was on, in a little place in Canggu. And I was sitting there waiting for her to go online, and it blinked online. And I was like, okay, I don't know if you're spiritual or not, but it's Amelia here, and I've got a crystal I need to give to you. And Lucy was so funny about it. She's like, oh, no worries. Like, that happens all the time. Like, let's catch up.
I've been in a flow of like, and I'll share a little bit about my story before we Amelia after this, but I was in a flow of just like, yeah, receive, man.
Yeah. And then when we come together, she come and picks me up that day, on that exact day, she come and picked me up. We
straight from the airport, went straight to her.
She's picked me up. We come together, and ever since engaging eyes, ever since it was just like this moment when we connected, past lives unraveled, like things that we remembered each other from the beginning of time, and it was like this incredible awakening of like, whoa, I just met like my twin flame, and it was just the most unbelievable, undescribable moment in time that we've ever had. And ever since then, just synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity, just things that we could not explain. So that led us to being together. Yeah. And I'm sure Lucy's got some more to share about that. I know we've shared that with you, Cherie, but it just blows us out every time. And just to, like, for the viewers watching these twin flame stories, there's always, what we've found is we've got a lot of twin flame souls around us, because we fully believe in the twin flame, that there are twin flames on the planet, and they come together. And when you are one, you really feel that in your bones, and you remember when you come together. Yeah. But there's always a synchronicity. All the ones around us, there's the runner, there's the same birthday, the same names, there's all these, like, one's a boy, girl, there's all these incredible things. A lot of them are
twins as well, because I've also got a twin, and then a lot of our other twins, they've got siblings that are twins as well, or there's twins. Wow.
Yeah, so there's always a wacky thing that you think, and it's always never what you think it's going to be.
I was calling it a man,
and I'm not a man, and she was calling it a man, I wasn't. But there's always these crazy things that we're like, wow, when we hear these twin flame stories, we're like, wow, we went through that.
And just after we met, I've been aligned with a beautiful Balinese Indigenous master who came into my life, when I was in that space of like that divine flow of just like everything being lined up. And we'll share a little bit about that through our process and through this beautiful interview with you, Cherie, because that's been a big part of our journey. Bali holds a very, very sacred place for us, and it's been a major, major, major part of our healing. Yeah. And activation of our mission. And he guided me to go to a woman about an hour north in the mountains, and to go and take this crystal to her. And this was the crystal that Amelia had got in the Aswan temple in the Isis temple in Aswan in Egypt. And when she didn't even know about me, and I sat down with this woman, and she told me that this was one of the pieces I'd left behind, and that we have many.
It's just so crazy.
I know, right? And we have many pieces. Every single person that comes here to Earth has pieces, especially at the moment. A lot of us, majority of us, have been here before, and part of our mission here at the moment is to go around and pick up our pieces again. And they can be remembrance at sacred sites, they can be pieces, crystals, for example, and this was a piece of mine. And
it was a part of your Akashic record.
Yeah. So, and that when Amelia and I met that night, we ended up we pretty much haven't spent much time away from each other since. It's been nearly 2 years, coming up 2 years. And I mean, it's just accelerated everything.
Yeah.
Accelerated everything for us, and it's just such a blessing.
It's an Atlantean crystal which activated our past life remembrance from Atlantis.
Yeah.
And that was just such a deep part of our journey. And I'm sure, like, I don't know if you have a resonance with Atlantis, Cherie, and maybe some of the viewers will, but Lemuria, Atlantis, like, they just make you feel good. There's just something within that. Yeah.
Right now. Wow, what an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing all that beautiful detail. It's so nice to hear the detail, because those are the incredible synchronicities that you guys have together. And I was going to ask you what kind of crystal that was. I haven't heard of an Atlantean crystal, so that's I mean, it looks like Atlantis, right? It's the color is just amazing. And I do have a connection with Atlantis and Lemuria. I feel like I've been in both places. You know, I have a strong kinship to the mermaid realms and the cetacean realms, and I'm from, you know, Miami, Florida, so I spent like my whole childhood in the ocean pretty much. Awesome. And I'm a scuba diver, so I have a strong connection to the ocean, and I have a strong connection to Mount Shasta, so I feel both. I must have lived in both in different lifetimes. So
I mean, I feel that too.
And that we also met you at Mount Shasta as well.
Yes.
Like, you know, pivotal.
And there's a Lemurian gateway and Atlantean gateway there as well. So it's interesting, isn't it? That's where we.
I was just there on Sunday, and I was so blessed. Or Monday, it was actually Monday, and every time I go to Mount Shasta, it's snowed in, and this was the first time that there was no snow at Panther Meadows. So I actually got to go up to Panther Meadows and meditate and see the sacred well and the creek that runs through the land. It's just so magical up there. So I felt really blessed, and I took my kids up there, and they loved it. So
it's amazing. It's awesome. So peaceful.
It's very peaceful. Yeah. So awesome. That's so interesting that twin flames often have twin siblings. I hadn't heard that before, and that's really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because they have that, you would think that maybe their twin was their twin flame, but obviously not. Right? That's not always the case.
Yeah, and it could just be like, you know, something from our experience as well. Like we've got quite a lot of twin flame couples around us, and even this beautiful place we're in right now, she's just met her twin flame a couple of days after actually connecting with us, which is interesting. So and I think 3 or 4 of the twin flames that I've known have had twins in their line. So
so it's interesting. Wow. It's a crazy fact. But these synchronicities, when we started to, what you were saying, Tree, when we started to actually listen to some of these synchronicities, there is really the chaser, the runner. There is really, you mirror each other's deepest core wounds. You really meet yourself at these levels. Like, it is a different experience, and there's always just these things that bring you together that are unexplainable. They're the source, the force, whatever you want to call it. They're just things that you just can't imagine. Like, I just when thinking of one really funny thing, I was going to leave Lucy in Bali. I was feeling really unworthy. I had so much unworthiness come up. My phone had died. Her phone had died. She traveled 3 hours. For those of you that don't know, Bali is a huge island. Like, we were traveling ages, and I sat down at a cafe, no reception, no phone, hadn't seen Lucy. It's a 3 hours drive.
I've gone up this ruthless, rocky road on my scooter. I'm quite extreme with things like that, and I'd just taken this other way, and Amelia wanted to take a car,
but we didn't explain where we'd meet, and I just wanted to be there. It was too hard for me. I was like, I can't do this, it's too confronting, and I wanted to leave. I had no reason of where, even the city we'd meet in, and I was sitting there getting ready to write it down, going to get my phone charger, and Lucy pulls up on a motorbike out of nowhere. And it's just like, in these moments of when you want to leave, it's like you just brought together. It's just like you can't leave.
Unbelievable. And Amelia was the only one sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And
it was just like, okay.
And I pulled up, and I didn't know that she was in there or anything. I just pulled up and went to get a drink.
Yeah, and it's just like you're a magnet. Like you're a magnet to each other. When you want to give up, one of them's there. It's just like the universe just plots you around together. So, I mean, for those of you that have had those experiences and that magnetism, it's like you can't run.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so interesting. I'll have to share my story of how Mark and I met offline at some point. Cause
oh, we'd love to hear that. That's cool. Yeah, awesome.
We'd love to hear that. We love Mark.
Yes.
He's
Mark says
awesome.
hello.
Hi, Mark. Hey, beautiful.
Awesome. So, I know you guys do a lot of mentorship work, and you're kind of in the life coach category, but I don't know if I would call you life coaches, because I feel like you bring so much more to the table than, maybe a typical life coach. So what would you say is the number one thing you help people with?
Go, Lucy. Not contrary.
This has been this has been an interesting part of our process, because we came together, and before we met Amelia, I'd spent the last 9-10 years of my life working in the coaching and consulting space as really a marketing, as a marketer, really. Like, my background's in business. So I've got a business degree straight out of university. I started working with one of the top coaches in New Zealand, because I'm from little New Zealand. And if you don't know where that is, it's the tiny little island again below Australia. And we're a country. And we're beautiful and we're bold. So I'm from New Zealand. And yeah, I was working with a business coach in New Zealand from the age of maybe 19, and scaled up his business drastically within 3.5 years. I think it was initially turning over $3,000 a month when I walked in, and when I walked out, it was turning over $180,000 a month. So nearly a $2.5 million a year business. And then I went out on my own, and I started helping people, coaches and consultants all around the world, to help do a similar thing in their business. So really, I was more like their marketing manager, and putting plans together and executing the things in their business to get more amplification of their message, and the ones that were really here helping those transition. And I found my way to Bali before I met Amelia. After I was obsessed. My journey's been a bit different. I was obsessed with work. And I got to a certain point in my life in New Zealand where I wanted to do more, and I wanted to have more freedom, and I wanted to be able to help more people. And I got all these crazy signs to go to Bali. And when I landed there, I just knew that it was the place that I was supposed to be. And all these business connections came in, but they still didn't feel right. And then when Amelia and I met, everything crumbled again. And I realized that what I was actually working towards was all created out of my mind. And I wanted to create the system and help the world and help more people. And I was building all these, like automated webinar campaigns and funnels and all of these things to help more people. And I just knew that it wasn't the way forward. Like in 5 years' time, it wasn't going to be relevant. The world's moving so much. And then when Mill came in, I actually shut down my business, and we activated each other's healing journey, which neither of us were really. I think Amelia was more aware of that journey that she needed to go on more than me. I'd hidden a lot of my abandonment and all my childhood trauma in my work. And then we spent the next year just pulling down the layers and rebuilding ourselves. And long story short, Cherie, a lot,
You've been talking. It's just amazing. There's no short answer.
Long story short, Cherie, Amelia's skill is, the beauty of both of us is we tried to make something merge together so many times, and it wouldn't always completely flow. But if we jumped into one of each other's arenas, it would flow if the other one was supporting. So part of part of what we do is we help people actually create a soul-aligned business that brings them in six figures. Because that's more of my genius. I've worked with hundreds of, I've seen behind hundreds of some of the best coaches and consultants businesses, and I know the core components to make that work, and I've been able to amalgamate that with my consciousness and my healing journey. And Amelia's gift is really, she's a transformational coach, and a spiritual guide. Amelia's got very, very high dimensional gifts and has been through many experiences.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of us. So if I was to say what I really love to do, my passion, I love working in the business and supporting Lucy with, I have a background in business management, and that's with the people. I don't know what Lucy knows, but what I love to do in our business is help her with the community, help her with the people, because I love people. It's like, I just love people. I'm that person. So basically my role in the business front is to support the people in whatever way I can, whether that's transformational coaching, whether that's spiritual knowledge, whether that's guiding them, whether that's love and support. That's what I do. But in my own sovereignty, because that's a part of the twin flame journey, is we have a separate mission, but we have one mission together. We have separate purposes, but a mission that aligns together, which I'll talk on what that alignment is. But for me personally, my passion is really transforming people's lives, helping them. I was addicted to drugs, alcohol, food issues, bulimia, self-hate, grew up in a sexual abuse, all these things that happened to me. And now I'm really able to resonate at a deep level with people with compassion and that really heartfelt way for what people go through. So really helping them break their limiting beliefs, face all their fears, get out of their comfort zone, help shift their life, help get rid of anxiety and depression. I was on medication, I had all these things, and now I'm not. I've been able to find holistic ways to be able to heal myself and to be able to heal my body and to be able to feel better. So I really love helping people with that, but also really the knowledge that I've been learning over the past 2 years with the ancient Indigenous, I've really been able to, they've taken me on into every day to be teaching me on how to really help people with the spiritual journey as well. So I've sort of amalgamated into that because I believe our true purpose, we have many, but it's to be our truest authentic self in each moment. And that aligns us to our highest timeline and into our different missions. And when we can unravel the stuff, which is a part of the process that I like to do, when we can get rid of all the programming, the limiting beliefs, all the crap that society's molded us to, there's a true self, and that's where the passion is, that's where our excitement is, that's where our actual natural abilities and talents lie. But until we can shed the lower vibrational and lower energies of what our bodies are carrying around on a cellular level, not only in the mind with the beliefs, but whatever we're carrying on a physical level, until we can read that, then we can really start operating at a higher level with passion, with service. So that's what I'm super passionate about. So you put us together and it sort of is combined.
Put us together and
it's a bridge.
And put us together and we mentor people to activate their true mission, their true purpose, and create a six-figure soul-aligned business. That's
From
really
that.
What we do.
Yeah.
Good.
And
put you together and there's a big explosion.
it's like a boom. And what I'd love to say, Cherie, is in the mission part, we love, like we've been now given permission after studying and doing our ancient training with the Indigenous to now take other people on the journey. There's actually a process to sign up for your mission on this earth. And it's a process that's done in Indonesia, and Bali is number 7 portal of the world. And it actually stands for the divine feminine, and it also stands for the purification center of the world. It's also the middle of Atlantis and Lemuria. It's actually the middle pointing. So there's a very huge alignment with Bali, with where we met. So there's actually a process that we're now taking people. And I think we've already got 10 people coming on the next one, whenever Bali opens up, whenever that may be.
Put a spanner into the works.
Yeah, it did. Actually, Corona actually helped us change our trajectory and work on different things. But that's a really big part of our mission, is to take people where they align and they release all that no longer serves them and cosmically agree to sign up for their mission and purpose in this lifetime. And everything that's not in alignment falls away, and the higher guidance and the cosmic alignment comes in. So it's an ancient process that over 2,000 people have done, and every 2,001 of those people are now on their purpose and living out their mission. So it's a very sacred thing that we are really, as Westerners, Lucy and I are really here to bring back the Eastern philosophy and to take people to experience this life, this gratitude, this different way of living and being.
Yeah, and to bridge it, because ancient knowledge is new world knowledge.
Yes.
This is new earth knowledge. We're just bringing it back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So, you know, why is it so important for people to find their life path or their sacred purpose or their soul's mission? You know, like what have you seen happen to people who don't follow this calling? You know, why is it so important? And especially right now, as many of us light workers are calling in the new earth, you know, so like I know a lot of people are just feeling activated, kind of like you two did in your story and how you came together. And I know there's going to be people watching this who feel that too, but maybe they're afraid to step out on their path, or they're afraid to take that first step. So what do you say to them? Why is it so important?
Yeah, totally. I think there's an individual answer for our own sovereignty, and then there's actually a collective answer as well. So on a personal level, for each person, what this actually allows is your true fulfillment. Your life, doesn't have to be complicated with you're going to do this, this, and this. It's actually really simple. And this is the beauty of what we've learned. You live in alignment with your happiness, with your joy, with your bliss, and you're no longer responsive or reactive to any lower energies, emotions, feelings. You're operating in a peaceful, harmonious state. And when you get to that thing, that's a different way of life. So it's quality of life, it's fulfillment. Aren't we all really just wanting to feel on a deep level fulfilled in who we are and what we're here to do? And it doesn't have to be complicated on what that is. So I think the biggest thing that it's brought us is our alignment within our heart and our soul, of like feeling good every day about who we are as human beings. And
through this chaos, like knowing that it doesn't matter, like, you know, we haven't been feeling the anxiety, we haven't been feeling all of that, you know. I think it's also a light worker thing, but I think also another part of it is, you know, one thing that we've done a lot of research around is a lot of people that have alcohol addictions, drug addictions, food addictions, a lot of depression, anxiety, it all actually stems back to not being on their purpose or not feeling like they have purpose. Because when we do, we don't try to fill ourselves with something else.
So it's like total inner freedom, inner fulfillment, and that actually is represented on the outer. So it's like such an inner game that when you have that, you know, like for me, like every morning I go and spend 3 hours at the beach on my own life calling, and I just sit there and I connect into earth and I'm just in peace. And that's like the life I choose to live. And I guess for every human, my biggest wish in humanity, and I think this is what it's about, is for every human to be free and happy, to express their true authentic self and soul gifts with the world, and live in a state of peace, harmony and love with themselves and with each other. And when you're in that state, nothing else matters. It's just you're here for such a beautiful, it's enrichment. That's what it brings. Enrichment, abundance, freedom, all those things that we try and get on the outside, they live within you. It doesn't become about what we have to do. It's about who we are in each moment. And that's what's special. And I think that's what we're all looking for in love, in like all the things that we buy. And I'm going to do another course, you know, and all these things just to try and like find. But really what we're looking for is that inner state of it, that it already exists within us. So that's on a personal level. On a collective level, we're all so connected. We want to thrive as a whole one species. And that's that inner thing that we feel we all want to help on a deep level. Even if someone says they don't, it's just because they're in their process. They've got things to clear. They've got things to move. They've got their own emotional attachments, their stories. They're still beautiful beings. Every person on this planet has an incredible heart and potential. And the bigger vision is all of us coming together, living in that state of what we talk about, new earth, in our own unique world, in our own unique bubble. What I feel is different to Lucy. What you want to see in the world, Cherie, in your own unique way is different. And that's a part of us understanding our own uniqueness, our own journey. A biggest thing that I'd love to say to people here is like, don't compare yourself to anyone else on this journey. because the doors open for you. The universe will open your doors for you in whatever you're here to experience in this lifetime. And when you're on that path, there's a knowing of something else. There's a knowing of that support. It's just a different state of being. And I think that's the power of it. And when we all come together, something happens with us. When one person wants one thing, like when we all start to come together like this beautiful connection, then the people listening, there is something special about us all being in a higher state, whether it's love, joy, but when we're in an all in that understanding compass, we are different. We're at a different resonance, and that's what we all want to experience. That's why we're all trying to find love, because it's a better way to be. It's just better.
Right, and it all boils down to love, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally, to the love.
You know, I believe that, you know, just coming back to the logistics of those questions.
Just so you know, I don't speak logistics. I speak heart. Lucy's very logical, just so you guys know.
Right and the left.
You know, like I believe that this is a big part of our purpose here on earth, and for a lot of life workers here on earth right now. And that is to be the bridge, to bring their higher level of consciousness, which they were able to access sooner than some people, because that was their clock went off, right? I believe everybody has a time that we wake up, our clock goes off, right?
Right.
And to do the work, to access that information, but we cannot resonate and penetrate another human being's soul path talking from that consciousness level until we actually can bring it into the physical form, which is this third dimensional, and even I'd say two-dimensional, some of our constructs that have been created around society. And that's the work I see at the moment, that we see every day and that we're presented with every day, and everyone's got a different mission, but we are seeing that a lot of these people come to us, these bridges to, you know, bridge that higher level of consciousness down to the lower dimension. And rather than speaking words of, you know, like our galactic nature and, you know, channeling messages as such, it's finding ways to penetrate the soul through, you know, are you suffering anxiety? Are you unhappy with your life? Are you unsure of what's going on? I mean, we're seeing this so much right now with what's going on. Like we've even had to shift a lot of our messaging around mission, purpose, live the life you're sent here for, to, do you feel afraid? Like, are you afraid? Are you feeling anxious? Are you waking up worried? Do you not know what your clear path forward is? And this is the reality of what's going on right now, because even if somebody's got a higher level of awareness, we still find ourselves trapped in these constraints of physical world if we haven't cleared what's needed to be cleared out of ourselves. And you know, I believe that this journey, like if every single human being is on their mission and purpose, this is what's going to bring heaven on earth. This is what's going to bring, you know, true peace, harmony, unity to humanity. But
happiness, yeah.
But that's not, you know, I do believe, you know, there's the solar flash, the grid lines, reactivating grid lines. I think this can happen very, very quickly. But at the moment, there's still a major gap between where we are now and what we're here to seed, because we're here to seed this for your children, Cherie, your beautiful children, beautiful Ruby and Danny.
Yeah.
Is it Danny? Lucas. Beautiful Lucas. And you know, I believe that we're the preservers of earth for them. And this bridging period is just like the internet. You know, computers were you know, created in the 70s or even earlier before that, and then they didn't take off into the mass usage until, you know, 30, 40, 50 years later. And I believe that you know, we're anchoring a new earth at the moment, that, you know, the divine feminine rise, you know, that we've shifted into the age of Aquarius, all of these things. But, you know, we're going to be in this state for a long time. And we're in a massive, massive transitional phase of anchoring. And, you know, we're seeing this everywhere, the chaos. I mean, in America, like we're seeing it, you know, on social media, censorship's going through the roof. Is Trump good? Is Trump bad? Like, what's happening, right? Like everything. Sorry. Yeah. Um,
Can you
and
hear me?
yeah, we're good. Sorry. And then, like all
Wait,
things.
you're back. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, you just cut out for a second, but you're back. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
sorry, honey. So,
yeah.
like everything that's going on in the world right now, we're in a new phase of anchoring, and like the easier that us light workers can make it, can voice it, can articulate, the power of doing this work and extracting, the processes that they took to shortcut, others' healing journey, others' awakening journeys. Like that's the real work right now, and being able to pull that into a third dimensional form so that so people aren't afraid to step onto this path, and they can feel and see and visualize the rewards, and even feel them quickly, because a lot of us, this journey's been tough, man, for a lot of us.
Yeah. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, like, I would imagine that you would see a lot more clients right now because a lot of people are not working. They're feeling more depressed. They're feeling isolated, perhaps. And like you said, maybe they're scared because they're not sure what tomorrow looks like. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lost your picture, but I can hear you. There you are. So, I was wondering, like, what do you say to these clients right now who are super depressed or scared or uncertain, and they want to take this leap because they're not working, so they've got time, right? But maybe the fear level is like way up, or maybe it's a financial restraint or whatever, like I'm wondering like how you're seeing the world, because I would hope that a lot of people are reaching out to you guys right now.
Yeah, I think we've had a mixed bag. I think what we've seen is there is a lot of people are vibrating in lower consciousness right now, and that's because of the earth, that's because of the collective, but people are in scarcity. And actually what actually happens as a human needs is when we're actually operating at the base of our human need, the very bottom of the food chain on Maslow's law, when we're at the bottom of that, we're not looking for our purpose and our soul gifts, Cherie. Actually, a lot of people are in a fear consciousness, and they're worried about their uncertainty to the next day. So what we've found is there's been a shift from actually purpose, from like, hey, what's my soul gifts, activate, what can I do, to actually, how can I get out of this state? How can I get myself stable? Because when we're in a state of scarcity, or when we're in a state of fear, we actually can't connect to these other spaces because it's not in our vibration. It's not like, oh, I want to live my passion right now when I don't have enough to pay my bills. So what these people actually need is they're needing the tools to heal, purify, and clear themselves, so then they can have the confidence and intuitively trust themselves to feel safe enough. Because when we're not feeling safe in our body, we're not going to go spend that money. We're not going to jump on our purpose and mission. We're not going to take that jump for the reason of our body being consumed by fear. So what actually has to happen is actually what we're doing is working. We've gone right back to the start. We've surrendered to, we don't mind what we help people with. We're loving beings who are at any part of the journey, because we're still on our own healing process, aren't we all? Like, we're all evolving. But what we've done is gone back into how we can help these people with the fear, the anxiety, the purification, helping them break their limiting beliefs, supporting them, getting them to a place where they can actually make decisions based on their future. Hey, I feel better now, guys. I've been doing these processes for a bit now, like the processes that we give people to clear their energetic body on a cellular level, so they can actually activate their gifts, so they can clear out all of lower dimensional, any lower resonance. It is cleared out through vibration of sound, through the ancient tools. So what's actually been coming to us is people that need that. So it's been a shift in, like, to be honest, we were like, okay, awesome. Like, we had these big lot of business clients, and then we've rebranched and launched, and people right now, they're struggling to get there, and that's okay, because right now they're operating in uncertainty, in fear, and you know what? That's beautiful. That's okay, because all that's actually allowing is their healing journey. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place because it just means more healing, more releasing, more clearing. So I think that there's a pattern of people being in between the both, people who are really in fear, and then there's people who are a little bit coming out of that are like, hey, I want to live my life, you know, hey, what's my purpose? Hey, where am I going? So there's people like on the edge of both, which is super exciting because it's just showing that more people are going to actually do the work here that needs to happen on a soul level to be content with what needs to happen here. Because what we actually found throughout our business, Cherie, is people who are building businesses from here that haven't actually done the clearing and healing work, it doesn't work out as well for them. They don't attract the clients, the abundance. They don't have that flow. They don't have that divine energy. Everything from here is created. So, the best thing is that we all, as humans, every one of us, whether you're a master, whether you've been teaching for years, whether you're just new on this path, we all have to go back and do this, raise your vibration. You have to purify yourself. You have to do this work. So then you're in a better place to operate. And the biggest thing that I say, and like, this is my truth, and everyone has their own discernment around this, but I believe that every single person has a unique thing to bring to this planet. If you're incarnated here at this time, and there's 8.5 billion people, you have a specific gift, talent, and need that the world needs. And I know that. And a part of my mission is I want to show people the way in their own unique way how to get there, because the world needs you. And we're all so different. I mean, I compare myself to Lucy. That's ridiculous. I'm nothing like Lucy. But a part of like our journey is just surrendering to who we really are. But I think if that's actually where most people are operating, they're in between the both. So it's almost like surrendering to how we think we should serve and actually what's going to make impact to each different person right now. And that's actually how we're dealing with a client. We've got, you know, business clients that we're helping. We've actually got one-on-one clients that I'm helping with the healing process. Then we've got an even charity event that we're running, giving back to the Indigenouses who taught us. We're actually teaching their processes that changed our life.
Yeah, and then giving all the profits to
back
those local communities in Bali, because they're really struggling right now. You know, like they I mean, they're really struggling right now.
They're really struggling.
So we've been so blessed to be here as well. And also, you know, like what another part of what Mill was sharing is that, you know, coming back to basics, we've been put here in Hobart, and usually we spent most of last year traveling.
Yeah,
you know, our sacred call is to the sacred sites. It's a big part of our mission. You know, to collect those pieces and help, you know, liberate
the grids,
liberate the grid line to bring back that organic nature. Because when we bring back that organicness to the earth and to ourselves through purifying us and purifying the earth, that's really going to fast track humanity's ascension. And that's really what we're here for right now. But, you know, we've started doing workshops and creating communities here in Hobart, and we really had to surrender to that because, you know, there's not really many. I don't even know if there is a conscious community here in Hobart. There's a few spiritual things, yoga centers, this, that, and the other, but they don't really have a community of people here. You know, we went the first few months of being here communicating with 3 people that live here, because there's no really awakened souls as such. But when we surrendered to it, whenever we go out into public, we were guided to a new hairdresser. Guess what? She's just had a spiritual awakening. We kept seeing this, you know, same woman 3 or 4 times over with the kids. And guess what? She's just had a spiritual awakening. And now we're starting to run our events, and these women are coming and they're having awakenings, and you know, we're being guided to connect with them on these levels where we can help. You know, they're going, what's actually going on in the world, what's actually going on, and we're able to, you know, share with them through our experiences, through our guidance, without, you know, talking about being a bloody galactic civilization. So it's been quite beautiful.
So it's been services on all levels for whatever beautiful soul, wherever anybody's at on the journey. We really open our hearts to anybody who needs, and that's sort of, that's a beautiful part of our journey as well, just letting that unravel how it has. It's amazing.
Well, it's beautiful that you're there and you can help the local community, because it sounds like there really wasn't one. And so, you know, that's part of where you need to be right now, to gather those people together and share your gifts. So thank God for that.
Yeah, you know,
That's what we thought.
one of the things that we come back to is like this quote, like you're always challenged. Like your point of growth is where you're being challenged the most. And I think that's something that, you know, resonates with us just so deeply, and always on this journey as well, you know, knowing that in those moments, like we've been put in some really horrible environments, and just being able to hold our, you know, center and hold our vibration to not dip into that lower vibration. I mean, it's the work.
It's really hard because there's so much like fear mongering happening and duality on the planet right now, and not everyone, but a lot of people are tuned into that frequency because they're like they want their finger on the pulse of the latest information. And so here you are, like trying to raise their vibration, right, and stay. And they're like, but what about this? But what about that? You know, so I totally get it. And I commend you, because I've kind of gone into isolation mode in order to keep my vibration as high as possible, you know, which is
we did that as well.
Yeah, or doing like one-on-one things, but not, you know, reaching out into the local community, which is really a commendable service that you guys are doing. So thank you for that. That's really beautiful as part of your service to the planet.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we love it.
Sorry?
We do love doing it. So thank you. It's been beautiful. Point of our growth as well.
Yeah.
We really just surrendered to that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's helping you too, right? It's helping you grow. And so, do you ever work with people who like can change their life's path more than once? Like, do you work with people who are like, oh, I got it, I know what I'm supposed to do, and then 6 months or a year later, they're like, no, I'm on this other path now.
Yeah.
You know, how many times can people change their path or soul's purpose? Would you
know, this is one that we see a lot within business as well, because, and this is a big part of even why we do what we do in our business, because we actually help people set up their business foundationally, that as they continue to evolve, their business will be able to move and shift with them. Yeah. Because that's been a massive thing for us. You know, we shared a little bit about before we met, and I had a business before that, and I was doing something completely out of alignment when I went on my healing journey, and then I was at this other point and we needed to do this, and now we're doing coaching, now we're helping people with business, and it's like, how does this all move together?
It's funny you say that, Sheree, because I'm your perfect example. I've changed my life trajectory maybe 10 times since stepping on this. I'm like, I'm going to be a theta healer. No, I'm a channel. No, I'm going to do psychic readings. Hey, I can do past life. It's like, then I'm like, no, I'm going to do nutrition. Actually, I'm a personal trainer. Actually, I love the business management. You know what? I'm going into the community. So I just evolved. And what do I say to those people?
Yeah, what do you say to those people?
Yeah, I say, go with it. Follow your passion in each moment, because this is the best part of this, you're getting the pieces to your puzzle to then serve out your mission, because we have to get many experiences and challenges and lessons to then fulfill our life destiny. So I didn't know that 3 years ago I was working in a real challenging, high-paced nature business management thing, and I had to work out how to change the culture of the community and how to serve these people, that then it would come into my life now. And then I was building communities in my nutrition company, all these lessons that I was just following my bliss. Now I can channel.
I lost your audio.
Can you hear us now? Yeah, we can hear you. Check.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, you're back. Yeah. Your signal went from yellow to red, and now you're back.
Now we're back. And I think I was just saying, we need to collect all the bits to our puzzle. So in a moment where we're following, there is no actual true path, true purpose. It's all a part of your journey to collect the pieces you need to become the beautiful, beautiful flower of who you can be on all these different petals you've got to collect out of all the different experiences. So everyone consistently changing, because it's actually in my birth chart and Lucy's, because we're the same birthday, that we hold a trait where we like constant change. So I've tried a million things, and guess what? I'm good at a million things, and I've got all those experiences from a million things. So if you're someone who's just aligning to, hey, that feels good, and you go for it, then you change. Like, be adaptive. Change is the only constant thing that's happening in this universe. That means you're going with the beautiful flow of the universe. So change it a million times and align back. And what I say to those people, how to know, like, you know, like how to go, because a lot of us don't know how to trust that. Like, hey, should I be doing this right now? Or, hey, you know, do I really need to be, should I change what I'm doing? Is to come back into yourself. And I always just take a moment and say, hey, like, does this make me happy? Is it still serving me? Is this really what I want to do right now? Am I getting some gifts out of this? And if it's like, hey, I'd actually like to try this, try millions of things until you really find what you need, because all of it is blossoming for you.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for saying that. Because also I feel like with that comes this limiting belief or system that we've bought into, that we have to label ourselves and put ourselves in a box.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had a lot of different careers in my 50 years on this planet.
Nice.
And, you know, when I shifted to, you know, energy worker, it was really difficult for me to put a label on myself. And I was like, but my training's in this, and now I'm doing this. And, you know, I realized that my mission on earth is simply to spread the light and to share the light, you know. And it doesn't matter if I'm building you a website, or, you know, doing an interview, or doing a healing, or making bracelets. It's all beautiful, and it's all adding positivity into the world. So, you know, I would just like to add to that, and you know, what you said was so beautiful, but also, like, people, don't put yourself in a box if you can help it. Don't try to label yourself as I'm an accountant, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a healer, because you might be 10 different things, and you might need to try all those things in order to
Oh, I think we've lost your sound just a little bit. Oh, check. Can you hear us there? Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
I am, you know, that you're so right, Cherie. You know, like, one thing that we get a lot of people come to us because purpose and mission, you know, we shared about our experience in Bali and activating that, our cosmic mission and our purpose. And, you know, I just felt the call to share a little bit around that, because one thing that we learn is every single human being's purpose here on earth is to be them, and their true self, their true embodiment of, you know, of everything that is within their heart and their soul. And, you know, that's stripping away all the layers, all of the programming, everything that, you know, society taught us, you know, anything from our ancestral lineage that's come with us, and clearing away all that trauma and that purpose when it comes to work, because this is one that we're asked a lot, especially within business, and people that have a lot of different skills. And one of the biggest things that we've learned is that if you put, and that we give advice to people, is if you put all of your get all of your experiences together from your past, whether it be you've got a degree, whether it be, you know, you're great at doing at making beautiful essential oils, you know, doing Reiki healing, whatever other experiences you've got and qualifications you've got, merging all of that together with your consciousness and trying multiple things and being detached, because whatever you're supposed to be doing right now, the universe will bring you a client. If you continue trying to push and push and push and push and push from your mind that, no, I need to be doing Reiki and that's all I'm doing, and I'm just going to be building my Reiki business, and you're not having Reiki clients come to you, but people are coming to you asking for other things, that's what you're supposed to be doing right now, because there's more pieces, just like pieces that you're supposed to collect. these are parts of the pieces that you need to collect, and you may need a few more lessons from that thing that's coming to you. So, and then, so that's the piece with purpose that is a big, big, big piece that's helped us. And we've just been through a whole nother level of that within trying to push something from our mind. And now we've detached only even recently a few days ago, and everything's flowing again. And we've just been given things given to us that we were blocking before, because everything we thought we were doing, that we were creating, was coming from our mind. So that's a really big one that I'd suggest, like that's people check into.
That's a big message right there, to allow. It's really hard for a lot of people to stay in the divine feminine and to allow those messages and opportunities to flow, right? Because we're such a goal-oriented society where we make our lists and we check them off, and we're supposed to be doing with our minds. So thank you for sharing your experience on that, because it's such an important detail that we often slip out of.
I just wanted to acknowledge you and say how amazing you are, Cherie, that what you touched on is so beautiful and so well put, that you put your light into everything you do, and that is your purpose. Like, that's so beautiful, and I feel so blessed, and that what an incredible, when you emanate that, you allow others to do that, and that is the real purpose. And I just wanted to acknowledge you for that, and for that wisdom, because it's so true. That's actually what we're here for. So you're amazing, and you're such a beautiful leader and an embodiment of holding that light pillar and being that in everything that you do. And it's just an emanation of that. So we're super blessed to be connected with you. So thank you for sharing that as well.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you to say. I really appreciate that. You bring so much light into so many people's lives. So thank you so much as well for sharing your light with everyone.
Receiving, thank you.
Touching on one other thing in regards to like working, like your work and your purpose, and amalgamating them together. One thing that we've found is the moment you start following your soul, you stop living by the laws of like this third dimensional reality, and you start tapping into the laws of the universe and the laws of the cosmos. And these laws are very, very different to those of the third dimensional world. The third dimensional laws are take action and get results and hustle, and the more work you put in, the more that you're going to get out, right? And when we follow our soul, you can't hear us? Oh, can you hear us?
Oh, you're back. Okay. Sorry.
There we go.
Should I go on about that? Yeah. Yeah, and when we follow our soul, the laws change. We're in surrender to the universe. So we need to be following those laws, and those are the laws of karma, the laws of action reaction, the law of attraction. And if we show up and we're not loving what we do, we're not going to bring what we need to us. Because if we don't love it, we can't match that vibrational alignment to get what we want.
Right, absolutely. And I think a good way to stay in your highest vibration is to have gratitude, right? To have gratitude for everything that you have, or, for those around you. Hopefully you can hear me. And, okay. And I know that you guys have just created a beautiful, amazing gratitude diary. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to share it with my viewers and your viewers, because I think it's so beautiful.
Oh, I'd love to. Here's a picture of it, guys, for those who are actually watching. It's a beautiful gratitude diary that was both coming into our life synchronistically on separate occasions before we met the woman who is now a dear soul sister of ours. Before we met it, I messaged her and said, wow, this gratitude diary has changed my life. And Lucy had an experience where she actually said, I'm going to work with this woman one day.
Yeah, 3 years ago I said that.
Wow. Yep. And by tapping into this gratitude daily, and also from Bali, we learned that not just in the Western, in Eastern cultures, every morning they're giving offerings to the earth and to the universe. So gratitude is the highest vibration for any part of our journey. Doesn't matter where you are, we're consistently practicing this gratitude. So this book helped change our life, and it was incredible. And the lady who created it is just such a beautiful embodiment of living the life of gratitude and being super inspired. And yeah, I guess the biggest thing that this can do for every human being is bring us back into that state. And it's just an incredible, powerful tool that, I mean, that's what the world's based off, is having this. So we've both been using this every day. She's got, you want to share a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Mel Spears, who's Melanie Spears, who's the one that created the Gratitude Diary, they got out to around 20,000 people a year at the moment. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful divine, it's being channeled through her every day. It's an opportunity, you know, to write down your gratitude. And then there's also parts of it where you can reflect at the end of every day. And her life really is a true embodiment of the divine. And, you know, as we just talked about, stepping into that way of living through your soul and trusting the universal laws. You know, we're down here in Tasmania, and we've aligned with her, and she's at the moment buying up all of the churches. There's a lot of churches here in Tasmania and around the world that are going up for sale, and she's already started buying them. And actually we're here right now in one of her churches. And you know, she's not religious, she's spiritual.
She's creating healing centers using back these actual sacred spaces where the ancient and the indigenous used to actually practice, do all of their singing and dancing. Because of the energetics there, because of the portals and the energetics, she's actually creating these spaces for people to come back and heal what needs to be healed. So she's super inspiring, super beautiful. And I guess every part of the journey comes back to gratitude, to raise your vibration wherever you are. If that's the first thing that we all do on our journey, whether it doesn't matter what journey you're having, that gratitude piece, it's there for life.
Yeah, absolutely. What a mission she's on, huh? Like, that's so beautiful to take back the grid lines and, you know, shift the energy there in those spots. Because, you know, I've heard that before, that a lot of the churches were put on the sacred grid lines and node points, you know, and so the whole universal grid or planetary grid that we have here on Earth has been compromised. So that's quite a huge mission.
She's putting gratitude into it, you know, all the time. Like the gratitude books are here, like all the places. So we'll also drop, you know, if your people would like to know anything about the gratitude, we can also share that with you and your viewers if that feels in alignment.
Yeah, what we can do is put a link to the journal or on the bottom of the YouTube description, so everyone can purchase it wherever it makes sense. So that's awesome. I know that when I practice gratitude journaling, it immediately helps raise my vibration. You know, so if I get triggered or something comes up that kind of lowers my vibration, I know that's an easy way to go, you know, what's the word? Like recover.
Totally.
It's been a big one for both of us.
It is on everyone's journey. It's just the one thing that can shift you instantly.
Absolutely. So is there anything in particular that you want people to know about your coaching services that, you know, that they may not hear somewhere else? I mean, obviously your whole perspective is probably quite different, you know, and what you bring to the table as a spiritual teacher and healer and leaders, you know, is really unique. And the fact that you're a duo, you know, and you both have different things. But is there anything else that maybe hasn't been said that, you know, is unique to what you guys bring to the table?
I think we've spoken a lot, but I feel what my heart would like to say, I just do everything based off that, is that one message, to just always trust if you resonate with someone or something, and just to trust that, because we all have people we're here to meet along the journey. And I know that if you resonate with us, amazing, trust that. And if you don't, like, someone's going to come in that you're going to say, that's my person. Go for that. Like, always trust that, like, you know, you meet these beautiful teachers, and I've had many different ones, and to always trust that. And I think the most unique part is allowing people to follow their own path. And also what I wish to say is Bali, for people who have a sacred calling to come to Bali, it's the purification portal of the whole world. And it's also, there is an opportunity there for people to come along and to sign up for their mission and to get ancient tools and practices that aren't shared. You know, they are very sacred in the Eastern philosophy. So if you're interested in learning about the sacred Indigenous knowledge that the masters have passed on, if you're interested in signing up for your mission in that way, that is something that I haven't heard that anyone else has that information for, that we've been passed on. And now through 2 years of building these connections, we were able to bring souls who are uniquely called to that destination to do those processes. So I think that's something that we hold that's unique to our services.
It's very unique. And we actually work, you know, everything we do. So we do 7-8 day retreats in Bali. And we, throughout those processes, will go to multiple different sites throughout Bali, to the sacred temples that a lot of Westerners don't actually have access to. And we do this working with our masters. So we've got 2 Balinese masters. One of them's in his late 70s, and he's the one that does the transfer of energy through the universe to reactivate our mission. And there's a translator that works with us. We go to all of the purification portals around Bali as well, and that's a big part of our process, because Bali really is the purification center of the earth. And if you know, we haven't shared much, you know, if it hasn't fully like landed through what we've been talking about today, it's a big part of our human missions here on earth, or our soul mission, is to all purify our bodies of, you know, the past, and also to help the earth. Because when we purify and come back to our organic nature, we live in peace, joy, fulfillment. And when we do it, if just 1% of the world purifies, the earth is going to transcend into a high vibrational energy. And we are doing this slowly every day, but just 1% of the earth heals themselves.
And I'd love to say that the best thing about this one is it's for every soul. It's not, doesn't matter where you are on the journey. You could be someone who's just awoken, who's like got a family. You're like, what is this new spirituality? It's going to lead you down to your soul, to the right, like to the path that is made out for you. And every person's path is different. So it's uniquely designed by the universe for souls who have that soul calling for any level, whether you're super galactic, you have light language, you know, whether you're at that level, or whether you're just awakening and like, wow, like, oh, that really hit my heart. Bali's got something there for me. It's for everybody. And it's just uniquely to you. And I guess trust your calling, trust yourself, trust your heart and your guidance, and it will guide you wherever you need to go. Oh,
you're muted. You're muted. No, Cherie's muted.
Sorry. Better than a connection issue. Thank you for sharing that. That is so beautiful. And I love that point that, you know, you have these connections in Bali, and you have these experiences in Bali, and you help people purify. And I do believe strongly in sacred sites and the healing that goes on those sites. So that's such a beautiful part of your mission. So thank you.
Yeah, and none of it's us, you know, and that's also something that we hold so sacredly with these Indigenous that we work with, is none of it is us. None of it is our human vessel. We are all just mediators for source energy.
Right.
No, we don't activate you.
You activate
no one
yourself.
can activate you.
Yeah.
You activate yourself. It's a mediate, you know, anybody that has any gifts that can help you more on your journey. It's all about mediating the energy that is within you.
Yeah. And the one thing that they've taught us is we all have, no one can give you your soul gifts. No one can give you your life path. No one can give you your destiny. Everything you need for your journey lives within you. That's full stop. That's what they taught us.
And but we traveled the whole world anyway, try to figure that out.
We tried to figure it out, but then just coming back to yourself. So it's a beautiful way to just know, like, these Indigenous humble beings, they know so much, and we've learned so much off them. So we're just here to help share the light, share the message, share the love.
That's beautiful. And you guys started a podcast, right? Can you tell us a bit about your podcast and what it's about and how long you've been doing it?
Beautiful. Well, it's called the New Earth Leaders, and we actually activated it last year, and we interviewed a few people, like 3 people, and then we went through another level of activations, blow up, whatever you want to call it, healing journey, and it just didn't feel in alignment when we went to put it out, and we were just really trusting the flow of it. It just wasn't flowing yet. And now, since jumping on, we've got a few American friends like you, beautiful, thank you for inviting us on here. It's just started to reactivate again. And what it really is about, it's a service to humanity, and it really is about showing and serving everybody's a new earth leader in their own heart, in their own unique way. And we want to start to bring people together to share their gifts and light with the world and their experiences and stories to help collectively grow people and help everyone be connected. So it really is about sharing the light. It's a service to humanity and really bringing out that leadership and knowing that everybody can step into that leadership by being themselves.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And where can people listen to it? Is it on?
We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
I have no idea, Cherie. I don't know that
we're
stuff.
We're on Spotify and iTunes. Just the New
all the podcast platforms.
Yeah, and then I think we've also got the newearthleaders.com as well. So that's going to be, you can listen now, and then we're going to be reactivating some new podcasts, and we're going to have beautiful Cherie on as well. We're going to be asking you the questions.
You're going to be in the hot seat. We can't wait to see how you're alive.
The script, aren't we?
Yeah, totally.
It's exciting. We feel like, we went offline for a few months, as also, you shared that you went through a similar journey as well. And, really over the last few months with Corona and everything that's going on, it's such an important time for us to all just come back into ourselves and ask us those questions again. Where's my joy, and how do I navigate this time and still be in my highest? And we're really just re-emerging out of that now and surrendering to what we tried to create from the mind, that we spent months trying to build something from the mind while we were offline. And now we're surrendering that, and just everything seems to be dropping into place again. And this is one thing that, we've been given our own guidance on, that when the new earth is, because at the moment we're in like a reset stage, and the ones that have been doing the work, like when everything turns back on, which we kind of see around us, it's starting to now, just in the last couple of weeks. But as we turn back on, those that have been doing the work are going to know what it is to do next, because it's going to be so clear. And through that process, what's going to happen is, over the next year or so, the mass consciousness is then going to start getting more clarity on exactly what's supposed to come next for them as well. So this is reactivating our podcast, connecting with you, opening up all these other channels that have been guided. It's just beautiful unfolding, and I mean, it's pretty exciting on what's to come, because it's surrendered.
It's so funny that you spoke on that, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was like, what are your personal thoughts on where we are on the ascension timeline with the pandemic in place, right? Because it does feel like not only a reset, but like a retrograde. It feels like we've slid backwards.
Yeah.
And I think it was necessary so that people could wake up, right? It's almost like you need to be slapped in the face to snap out of it or something. Like, what are your thoughts on why this is all going down the way it's going down, and why it's taken so long?
Yeah, so I've got like a small and a big overview answer to that question, because I love going down the rabbit hole. Like I have looked at everything. Like I got guidance when Corona, the first few days it came up on the news, I said to Amelia, baby, the whole world's going to stop and we're not going to be able to travel for however long. And she's like, oh, whatever. And it's all unfolded like this. And I just went down the rabbit hole and I looked into all these things. I'm obviously not going to touch on it here because, you know, everything that's going on right now. But, you know, one of the biggest things that I believe is after detaching, because there's so many agendas at play. There's, you know, the Black Lives Matter, there's, you know, the presidential, all the stuff going there, there's the Corona, there's the, you know, the gay, lesbian, like so many agendas that we've been asked, you know, that everybody's been given all these opportunities to choose a side and to create more and more and more separation. And I believe that this is the ultimate what's the word I'm looking for? I believe that this is like the ultimate betrayal of humanity, and that is disrupting it, like creating separation and making us think that we aren't all one. And they've done that through so many things. And I believe that with all the craziness that's going on right now, I actually believe this is a great thing because it shows that they're trying to do everything they possibly can, try and separate us more. Mm-hmm. But once one wakes up, as we know many times for every single one of us that have been on this journey, we can't go back to sleep. Right. So the higher our awareness goes, we can't come back down. I mean, however many times I've said, I wish I didn't wake up. You know, I've been through many journeys in the dark night, so I wish I didn't wake up. But the fact that we're seeing more and more and more of these agendas at play, it's showing that things are crumbling. We're seeing things coming out of, you know, I'm not going to go through specifics, but we're seeing things happen. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that we're here right now. We're on the highest timeline right now because otherwise we would not be here right now, remembering this and here in this reality. I believe that if this wasn't already done, we wouldn't be here right now. There are more, I think maybe 40% of the planet are starseeds, maybe even more. And it's because we needed to infiltrate through these human vessels, right? And I do believe that the dark will corrode on the dark because it is written in time. I do believe that as we step out, you know, you've gone into isolation through some of this. We did the same thing. I do believe that I use Facebook now. Facebook doesn't use me. And that's been a big part of this process, right? Like I jump on, I don't scroll. No, I give information. Mm-hmm. I give, you know, things that can feed people and allow them to uplift themselves, giving them tools to realize their own power and to drop seeds. I plant seeds. Right. I don't get involved in the agenda. Do I know what's going on? Yes, I do, because that's part of my path. I am a warrior of truth. Mm-hmm. I need to know. And there's so many things. Does it resonate with you? Does it not? That is up to you. That is your own discernment. And we need to all tune into that. And it's important to know what's going on. And I believe, you know, one of the biggest things is ignorance is a choice. And as we transition into a higher dimensional humanity and a higher consciousness humanity, it is your choice to educate yourself. The most educated people in the world eventually find spirituality. Why is that? Why is it that all the, you know, the people that have the most money, that have the most influence, the most audience, the most power, if you look behind it every day to day, they use crystals, they use spiritual information, they know how to control minds. Mm-hmm. You know, these are the things that we're all starting to learn. And I do believe that the dark will collapse on the dark, and we're already seeing it. For the next few months, we're in for a very, very, very bumpy ride, but it's got to get way worse before it gets better.
Right. I've been saying that too. It's going to get way worse before it gets better. Do you think that part of the reason this is happening so strongly is because so many people are waking up and they're trying to, you know, keep us quiet?
Yeah, I believe that what's actually happening is it's to do with the energetics of the consciousness within the grids as well. Like they are heavily planting these grid lines with fear, with all of this information, but what's actually happening is this darkness that is arising. We got to do the work as human beings, because we are simultaneously the same as the earth. We have the exact same energetics as the earth. So us walking on the earth, we've got to go through this process. So as the darkness is coming out within the earth, it's coming up within us. We're doing it together with the earth's timeline, I believe, because a lot's been done on the etheric, but as we're coming back in, this physical body of the earth is corroding, climate change, all these things that are going on. Our physical bodies, everyone's dying, everyone's getting cancer, all this health. There's this massive play out, and now these other things that are coming out are like the deepest, darkest truths that hold energetic imprints all through the earth, plus all through our ancestral lines. If you don't have something that, like, say it's like sexual abuse, if it's not within you, it may be back all of your generations. Like, someone's been to war in our family, we've all had sexual abuse. Like, there's this collective thing going on that the earth needs to purify for us to come back in. So I believe that it's happening at a real deep level because people are ready. I believe there are people waking up really quickly. Yeah. The only way we can wake up is through the trauma as well. Is like releasing that. When we release the trauma, when we go through the darkness, there's the light. It's there. Mm-hmm. So it's such a beautiful process. And I think that if we could bring a beautiful way, like, it's dark, it's crap, but like, there's actually light within this. This is the best time in humanity. We are finally ridding the planet, the earth grid, each other of these things that do not have to be in our energetic system within the earth and within us. So I believe that the imprints, it's all coming up on many different levels for many different people. And I believe it's creating instantaneous shifts. I believe that the grid lines are helping people wake up. And I believe that when those sacred sites and when those grids are working back, it's going to actually create a mass awakening for humanity.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. I love what you both said, and it feels to me intuitively like a mirror is being put in front of our faces right now, and it's going like, look how ugly things are. What are you going to do about it? And the fact that you said, Lucy, that you don't scroll Facebook, like you don't, Facebook doesn't use you, you use Facebook. Like, that's so beautiful, because I do get the sense that Facebook has magnified the duality and the separation on the planet, and I feel like you can't really go on there anymore without getting triggered, So I've just completely deleted it off my phone, and I only use it to give out information, like, our interview tonight or other things that I'm doing that raise a humanity's vibration. Because I realized that by trying to be a truth spreader, that it still can lend itself to contributing to the duality. Yeah. Because as truth seekers and truth speakers, we want to spread the truth, but there are a lot of people who aren't ready to hear it. So then it creates this, right?
Yeah, the polarity.
So even though we're trying to do something helpful, it's not being received that way, and maybe it's upsetting some people or whatever. So it's been a really interesting 6 months, and I do feel like, because of the information age and how quickly we can be connected and how quickly we can share and spread information, that we're constantly having this mirror thrown up in our face, and it's like, look at this. Do you really want to see this? Look how dark and ugly this is, but it's kind of needed right now to help people wake up and snap out of it.
I beautifully said. Yeah, beautifully said. That's bang on. It's the mirror. 100%.
It's the mirror. It really is. Like, if you go digging, you're gonna find something. Like, that's one of the laws of the universe. Yeah. It's like, action reaction. That's exactly what's going to happen, and really tuning into where's this coming from is such an important part. Like, we've found ourselves, I specifically, Amelia is not really someone to go down that rabbit hole.
I'm too empathic. I can't, I know it's there, but I don't need to dig it up.
Right.
Yeah, I found myself in like a dark place for a couple of weeks after I was going down through mine, and I did the same thing. I deleted Facebook, and then I had to reground myself, figure out, like, actually, okay, come back to my journaling, come back to the core things that I started at the beginning of my journey, because I was getting overwhelmed, I was getting anxiety, I was getting all those things. And of course I was getting them because now I'm helping other people overcome them,
Right.
So
yeah,
But
and what you focus on grows, right? So whatever
yeah,
you're focusing on, it's going to grow big time.
exactly. And the mirroring is just happening so we can be reflective of our own sovereign beings and self on what we need to clear. So whatever thing that you're attaching your agenda to, that is the part that you need to look within yourself. Like, hey, why is that triggering me? What's coming up in me? Like whatever emotions attached to it, doesn't matter what agenda it is, whatever darkness you're seeing, if it's triggering you, there's something residing within you that resonates at that vibration and frequency. And that's why we have to do the work to clear it out. So it's just a beautiful opportunity of darkness to go through the hole into the light,
Yeah, Facebook also has an algorithm. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this or any of our viewers are aware of this, but Facebook have done many tests over the last few years to try and get emotional reactions so they actually know how to hack and control our minds and our neurological pathways, just like NLP, etc. And the algorithm is at a point where it's more intelligent than us human beings. Pretty much, the algorithm is a point in which like there's a lot of ignorance around and naivety, and I think we choose a lot of that as well because it's so smart. This algorithm knows us better than we know ourselves. So if you do go and look at something, what's going to start happening is Facebook's going to start sending you that stuff. So the moment you look at one thing, it's going to start sending you that kind of stuff. And if you're somebody that also, is a truth seeker and a truth sharer and you go down, these paths as well to try and find the truth, as soon as you start looking at one of these things, Facebook has a little bell going off going, hey, this person might be someone that speaks a little bit too much truth.
Right.
But also there's ads. There's a lot of ads out there at the moment. I don't want to go too deep on this, but there's a lot of ads out there at the moment that have actually been put in place and created by robots to actually plant false information. So some of the information we're seeing on Facebook and in our feeds and in our ads are actually false. And the reason they do that is because they want it to jeopardize our own integrity. So if we actually go and say to someone, oh, I saw this and rah, 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 and then somebody goes, oh, that's crazy, or they go and look at it and do research and it's not true, it's immediately going to deplete part of your integrity with that person. And this is part of the agenda. And this is what we come back to. Okay, cool. What is true? What resonates? And, go and do your research. If you are fully bang on truth on something, don't just go and share something on Facebook. I don't feel as though that is the most integral way to do it. Go do your research. And, if you really feel as though it is something that needs to be shared, if it is part of your mission to share that, and you've got, some real solid proof there, then do your due diligence with what you feel is right.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. I have seen, a lot of issues, duality, separation come up around Facebook, and there are memes going around that are made to look like truth, but they're just memes, but people believe them 100%. And it's like, I'm a graphic designer. I know how to make a meme. It's pretty easy. You can put anything on it.
Yeah.
So, don't put too much weight into a meme. And I've also noticed that not only do the algorithms respond to what you're clicking on or scrolling or pausing on, but also what you're saying in your everyday conversations. I've even heard reports of people saying, my phone was in a different room. I was thinking I needed to buy this thing, and the next time I went to my phone, there was an ad for that thing. And it was something that was completely out of their consciousness. They'd never talked about it. They've never researched it, or looked at.
Oh, we've lost you, honey.
Designed to constantly manipulate us.
So interesting blurry and.
Can you see me or hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And also, I'm sure you're aware of this. There's a podcast about YouTube's algorithms, and this guy wrote a whole book about it. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, if you like, all the George Bush, or not George Bush, but like Donald Trump ads, they're going to keep feeding you that content. And the programmer was like, no, shouldn't we show them the other side so that people can make a weighted decision? And the powers that be said no, because we'll lose their interest, because they won't keep clicking on stuff that they're not interested in. So we shouldn't show a weighted, balanced perspective. Let's just keep it all on that side. So that's another way that they manipulate us, which is really
crazy.
Yeah. But I want to end this on a positive note.
Yeah.
I was just having all this stuff come up, and then I was like, no, don't put that out to the universe. We don't need to go into that.
Yeah.
It's just the start of things, like, okay, there's fluoride in all our water, and fluoride was created by Hitler. Yeah. So let's just touch on that.
I was going to touch on something positive just quickly that's coming through, which I like to do to navigate when I do get these emotions come up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a truth seeker, if you are looking into things, and if you're watching something that makes you feel not okay, and you want to explore, it's okay. But the biggest thing that I've found that comes back to help me is to come back into my body, ground myself, and to also send out a prayer for that thing. I actually wrap my heart flame around it. You might not be in the space to do that. Don't not honor how you feel. Go through your process. If you're angry, have the anger, express your emotions, feel yourself, be real in your wholeness. But when you come back down, the law of the universe, whatever you put out comes back to you. Like, have those moments of being fully expressive in every moment, however you feel, honor yourself completely. But after that, I come back and I choose love every time. I come back and I send the sexual abuse victims, I send them, I wrap my heart around it. And if you think that if we could all collectively start just being full, express it, get your anger out, don't.
Lost your audio. You guys still there? I'm sure they will be back in just a moment. I've been dealing with these technical glitches. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can you guys hear them? I see he said can hear now. Looks like maybe they're coming back in. Oh, we lost him. Okay, well, I'm still here. How are you doing, Dexter? Thank you so much for coming on the show. I haven't seen you or talked to you in so long. It's really good to see you here. And Jeff, thank you so much for hanging in there. And John and Chic Equilibri, hopefully you're still with us. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat room. This has been like quite an intense conversation. Most of it was super positive. They were sharing about their coaching work and kind of what they've been up to for the past 6 months as we've been going through this global shutdown and pandemic. And, and now we just kind of touched on the duality. Ah, they're back. Here we go. Hi. I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm back. We're back.
Yeah, it's
Amelia's just levitating. Amelia's up there currently. She's levitating.
I'm levitating. Yeah, so where did you lose us at? I think I was just saying about the heart and the love.
Yes, you were saying, honor your process and go through what you need to go through, but always come back to love and ground yourself. And you were saying that you share, you wrap your heart around the victims and those who may be going through a lot of darkness.
Yeah.
So that's a really beautiful way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, just any process that brings us together, it will transmute the energy. The more of us that choose to align to that, to forgiveness and love, the law of forgiveness, the law of love, the law of oneness, these are cosmic laws. The more we choose that, it transmutes what's going on. It brings us together, and you feel after it, go through your process because that's important, but you feel like, no, I've made a difference just then. No, I've really done something just then. And I just encourage the more people that can choose that path instead of being like anger, post about it, anger, the division, that whole polarity, the more people that choose that, the quicker we're going to come together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I think that works on a personal level too, right? Like if you have something with one person, just send that person love, just close your eyes and either send them love or a hug or forgive them if maybe they've offended you or hurt you in some way.
Totally.
And it helps neutralize that energy, because even if you're not talking in the physical, guess what?
Yeah.
You're talking on the astral.
Totally.
How many times have you had a lucid dream with someone and you're like working it out on the astral?
Yeah, totally.
So it's interesting that you say that, because something actually has been, this has been coming up for us a lot, and especially as we all continue on our ascension journey, and as we transition into new people, we add things to our tool belt and we let go of things that haven't been serving us. What we find is that people or things or friends or family members, we may resonate with them differently. And some might fall out. We may be going and meeting our friends and we feel, not that great energy afterwards, and, because they're on a different path. And this has been a big part of our learning as well. Amelia is such a truth seeker. When she first started her journey, she used to ring people and say, I don't resonate with you anymore. We're not going to be friends. And
I thought that's how you did it.
And what this would do is it would actually create another stronger energetic tie, and it creates another karma loop. And what we've learned, so
explain that.
Yeah,
explain it.
Yeah, so how it works is, if, for example, if somebody's not resonating and we just, if we slowly cut all ties and we just stop kind of contacting them, and if they do try and contact us, we get back with a neutral response or whatever, we can actually set an intention to cut their energy, to choose to end that contract, or just to cut that energy from your field, and go into a process and actually ask the universe to cut this energy from you and say, hey, I asked for my soul's highest best and for the highest best of that person as well, for us to now at this time to just, break away and have a separate energy. And I ask for all of my energy, from all space-time realities to come back to me in all space-time dimensions or realities, and just to be within me and my own wholeness. Yeah. And what that does is, you don't ring that person, you don't contact that person. If depending on where that person's
versus creating more contention where they're mad at you going, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, totally. Because everything's done on the quantum level. So when we start working with the universal energy and we ask for that to be done, so it is. And we just trust that the universe is going to take that person out of our life. But for me, it's been a big lesson, because I never spoke my truth growing up. I'm like, no, I have to speak my truth. I need to tell them how I feel. I need them to understand me. And it's just, it comes from my own stuff I haven't processed. We need to have healthy boundaries, of course. And there are some moments where you need to speak your truth from the heart, of course. But actually, a really awesome way is to ask the universe, because if this is the key thing that people don't understand, if you are reacting and you are standing up and you're connecting into that person to say, I want to cut this energy, you have an attachment straight away. You're creating an attachment. And when we're working with the universe, any attachment is an attachment, and it creates that energy loop back to you. So the best way to do it is to detach, because detachment is the art of what we all here to learn. Also, another massive lesson. When we detach from it, it doesn't exist. We say it, we quantumly, we ask for it, and it's done. And it's worked. We've done it many
Oh,
times
it
and it
works.
works.
It works.
We can say it works. You guys should try this at home. If there's someone that you're not really resonating with, just set an intention to release it. You don't need to tell them, and just watch the universe do its thing.
Yeah, unless obviously you're being given guidance to tell them.
Yeah, or you've been hurt, or you need to stand up. Like there may be, it just depends on your own personal journey.
Right. Yeah, that's good advice. I've also had to cut lots of cords this year. I think 2020 was the year for cutting cords.
Yes, same. Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that advice with the viewers, because I think you know, we all need to do everything possible to be in our highest and best selves right now, because the world needs it, right? I love that, you know, you're intentionally spreading positive love and light if and when you do go on social media, because the world needs it. Like everything right now is about duality and separation. And we all need to remember that we are one and we are connected, and, you know, just be the best person you can be in truth and integrity and love and honesty. And don't label yourself as this or that, you know? And if you're not this or that, you're against me, you know, because that just feeds into that matrix. So
Beautifully said.
And
beautifully.
Yeah, and it also creates another cord in there of separation. It's just like, you know, comes back to what we just spoke about. Everything, cord. And the stronger the cords, the more ripples it's going to make.
Right. And it's so interesting because I feel like this pandemic has kind of like pulled the rug out from under our feet, you know? And so everyone's kind of grasping for the truth. They're grasping for their safety, and they're grasping for what is tomorrow going to bring. So, you know, even more than ever, we need to see it for what it is. You know, we need to see the manipulation that lies in that single fact, you know? And stay true to our mission and our sovereignty, you know, so we can get back on that A+ timeline that we were on.
Totally. Beautifully said. I think that's it. That's the magic in it. Coming back to that and living, like you said, I loved how you said that. Just be the best person you could possibly be in each moment, and try and find that. And that's the way we're all going to move forward. And it's simple and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. So how can people find you if they want to work with you, if they want, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can find us. Yeah, so they can find us on Facebook, just Queens That Bridge. We're on Instagram, Queens That Bridge 11. Our website's www.queensthatbridge.com. And also, you know, if you know this does, if we do resonate with you, if you want to learn more about, you know, what we've shared on some of, you know, this beautiful interview with you, Cherie, and, you know, or if you're wanting to create a solar line business, you know, and bring in stability and financial, have financial control of your life again. Come in. We'd love for you to join our group. Actually, that's probably also another really, it's been a way for us to be of service. We just opened it a couple of weeks ago, and we've already got, you know, 100 or so souls in there, where we're really just giving out value, and we're starting to run weekly, fortnightly, you know, workshops and events, and we're aligning with some really incredible people that we've met along our journey, and now it's time to share everyone's goodness together to really help others. And you can find that if you just go to go.queensthatbridge/join. Go.queensthatbridge.com/join, or just go to our website or our social media platforms, and you'll be able to find a link to our group, and we'd love to have you.
We would.
Yes, I think I joined your group a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah,
beautiful. Awesome. Amazing.
Awesome. Well, this has been such a beautiful conversation. It's been great to have you back on the show. I love that you're still, you know, doing what you're doing. You're still spreading love and light and helping people, you know, be their highest and best selves. So much of this work is needed right now. So I honor you and thank you for all of your service. to humanity.
You
Thank you,
received, honey.
beautiful.
We honor you so deeply.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
We're so,
We
so,
do.
so grateful.
We see you. You're amazing, and thank you for all that you're doing in the planet right now. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. To everyone who's tuning into this show, whether you're watching it live or the recording, I just want to mention that next week we're going to have Maria Owl on the show. She's also a healer and a channeler and a spiritual leader in the community. So please, next week at 7 o'clock, same time, same channel. And I also want to mention that I just started an Instagram account, which I hadn't done before because I was trying to stay off of more social media. But now you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So please jump over to Instagram and follow us so we can build that platform up as well. And actually, personally, I love Instagram. I've found myself on there much more than the others. So
Totally.
So please, stay tuned there. That's where we'll do announcements for the next shows that are coming up. And as we close out 2020, I hope to be more prolific in bringing you lovely guests on the show like Lucy and Amelia, because we need more of this in the world right now. So thank you to all the viewers who have stood by us for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. Well, thank you.
You're amazing. So, and Dexter's in the chat room. I don't know. Do you know Dexter?
Hey, beautiful Dexter.
Yeah, he's a legend. Beautiful soul, Dexter.
Sending love, brother.
He's just across the pond from you in Australia, right?
Yeah, wicked.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I'm going to end this live broadcast, and I will be right with you. So thank you so much for being here.
We love you all.
Yes.
Blessing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And see you guys next week.
Bye.